Hey peeps, this is I, old Pa Stump, Professor Fart Pants. I'm heading home from work. What is it, about quarter after 6? Yeah, 25 after 6. Heading out of Nolo, Pennsylvania. I'm coming up on Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. I got about another 25 miles to go. But Punxsutawney is a pretty little town. You guys might recognize it from Groundhog Day, the movie, and it's been made famous by the little rodent Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog, weather prognosticator of the universe. You know. Plus, their motto in Punxsy is weather capital of the world. So I'll let you guys decide whether or not you put much homage in that, but it's fun. It's good for the tourists. The little shops and the stuff. It brings a lot of people in. Heck, there's 50,000, 60,000 people come up here on Groundhog Day. They go up the Gobbler Knob up here. It's just a little park, you know. Pay homage to the rat, to the rodent, the groundhog. Woodchuck, if you come from New England. Down yonder here they call it a groundhog, but it's the same fuzzy little critter. So, if you ever do come to Punxsy, they have a little museum, and they have Punxsy Phil's den in there, and I guess they got a whole bunch of them, but whichever one gets lucky enough to be Phil this year, you know what I mean, that type of deal. But whatever, it's a cute little town. Nice place to visit. Pretty country around here. But anyway, it's starting to look like fall. The leaves are really turning. They're starting to fall off pretty good. It's pretty dreary today. It's clearing out nice now. It's supposed to be nice for the rest of the week, so that's good. But kind of a dreary, somber day, you know, a lot of rain, off and on. It wasn't a downpour, but showers and blustery fall day, you know. Wasn't too cold, probably mid-50s. Just gets me in a little bit of a melancholy mood to see everything turning from summer to fall, and I know what's coming, you know. Plus, we'll have some nice weather for a few months. I don't know, it just gets you, ever get feeling kind of melancholy and thinking about friends and, you know, of course, relatives and friends and loved ones that have passed, and I don't know, just get kind of thinking about all these people. I thought, you know, I'd make a kind of an interesting story. I got a old fellow, I was thinking about him today, I don't even know why, but I thought, oh, you know what, that might make an interesting story. So I thought maybe I'll do a little story time about an old fellow that I met back in the 80s, and I must admit I didn't go out of my way to meet him. He actually went out his way to meet me and introduce himself to me, and looking back on that, you know, that was kind of a special thing, and we'll get into that a little bit more in detail here in a few minutes. But this fella's name was Americo Cardi, C-A-R-D-I, and I do believe that was shortened. He was an Italian immigrant, and when I met him, now this would have been, I was married, we got married in 85, so this would have been probably 86 or 87, in that range. And what I was doing, I was cutting a piece of timber. It was mostly just polewood, firewood, pulpwood type stuff. There was a few logs in it, but it was kind of an arid, dry ridge piece of ground, but it had nice oak and black oak, white oak, black oak, red oak, you know, chestnut oak. Basically firewood. It was kind of short stuff, but it was nice stuff, you know, nice polewood. And what it was Cardi Corporation. Anybody you guys living in the Northeast, you know, maybe from New York State up into even southern New England, you probably recognize that name, Cardi Corp. Cardi Corp is probably, or was, I think it still is, one of the premier road construction companies, bridges and roads, and, big, huge shopping centers and big earth moving projects. I know they used to have quite a few concrete plants and asphalt plants and stuff like that, and fleets of trucks. And they would win a lot of the bid on Interstate 95 going up through Rhode Island and Connecticut, Massachusetts. Cloverleaf projects, repairing the roads and building new roads, new sections. So they were a great, big, huge company. Well, Americo was the founding father of that company, Cardi Corp. And I didn't know him from Adam. I had no idea who he was. But anyway, I was working this piece of property, and I knew Cardi Corp owned it. I knew it was. I can't remember whether I didn't bid it. I can't remember how I got it. Somebody contacted me. They needed it cleared. And I was in there for quite a while. I was probably in there a year on and off. I wouldn't stay there the whole time, but I'd go in, pile up a bunch of firewood, and then go do something else and come back and forth. But anyway, there's one particular winter. I believe it was, like I said, 87, maybe 86, 87, 88. I don't know. But I had a 540B John Deere at the time, and it was a nice little machine. I hadn't had it very long. It was like an 81 model, so it wasn't that old. It was the nicest, newest skidder I had at the time. Prior to that, I started off with a little Gaffner iron. It wasn't an iron mule. It was a Gaffner mini skidder. A little tiny skidder. It had a little 3-cylinder Perkins diesel in it. Had Unimog, Mercedes-Benz Unimog differentials, little transfer case, little tiny winch on it. It was actually a cute little thing. It wasn't in the best of shape. So I was always cobbling it back together to make a living. But then I upgraded big time to a 208 Timberjack. I think it was a 72 or 74 or something. I can't remember. Now this would have been right around the time I was getting married, in 85 or something like that, 86. I think I bought this John Deere in 86, I don't remember. So anyway, it was after that. It was 86 or 87. Might have been the winter of 86 and 87, or 87 and 88. I don't know. So anyway, I'm up on this hill, colder than Witch's Tit, Nebraska. I mean, it was cold out. I mean, just nasty. Snow, and really like one of those Arctic blasts for a while, But it was good work, and once you were out in it, we'd build a fire, burn some brush and stuff, get warm once in a while. And anyway, so I was up there skidding wood, and at the time, I think I might have had a splitter then. I can't remember, but I would cut a drag, bring it out, and I would cut it into 16 or 18-inch lengths, wood stove lengths. And then I can't remember. I used to split all of it by hand with a maul or an axe, mostly a maul. But I think I might have had a splitter by then. I don't remember. I think I did. I think I had an American splitter. They were made up in Black River, New York. A really nice splitter. So anyway, I would cut them, come out, lay some poles out, drag 2 or 3 skids out, and maybe 6 or 8 trees at a time, and I'd lay them out on the pole, and I'd buck them all into length, and I would split them, and I would throw them into my little dump truck. I had made some nice little dump bodies on 1-tons, on a T-plate or whatever you call it, a ton truck, the little dualies. And I used to build a nice little low center gravity body, and put those little farmy hoists in them, and whatever. But I would split this wood into this thing, and I'd go deliver a load. And I usually do 2 or 3 loads a day. I worked my butt off, but anyway, it was fun. It was good money at the time. So one day I'm down there and I'm working, and this big old Cadillac Coupe de Ville pulls in, and I mean it's cold. I mean it's it looks like the Arctic. You know what I mean? It's blowing snow, and not like snowing like a blizzard, but just steady late snow, and it's blowing straight across because it was cold. One of them deals. You know how it gets where you guys live in a cold climate. When everything freezes in, and you get this snow dust that blows around, and it's one of them types of deals. So I jump in the truck every once in a while and warm up. And we had a fire. I usually build a fire and warm your hands up on that and whatnot. Keep the chainsaws near so they can start good. So one day I'm up there and this old Cadillac pulls in. It wasn't old. It was pretty nice. It was like a late 80s model, a late 70s model, but it was immaculate. It was just a beautiful car. I mean, it was just spotless, But it was an older car. It might have been like a 10-year-old car at the time. So I didn't think much of it. I sat there and watched for a while, and I just thought, well, this is kind of strange, And then it'd go away. And then another day, maybe a day or two later, the car shows up again. And this time he gets a little closer to the landing, I'm skidding. And then it might have been that day or another day he shows up again, and pretty soon, down rolls the window, and it's this old man sitting there, kind of a big guy, and big frame man, You could tell he was an elderly gentleman. So I stopped what I was doing, and I went over, I didn't know him. I didn't know him from Adam, I had no idea who he was. I thought it was kind of strange, this guy just sitting here watching me, but a couple different times, but I didn't want to say anything out of the way, in case he, I didn't know the landowners or anything, so I didn't, watch what you say. You don't want to say, what the hell are you doing watching me? So I went over there, and he gets out of the Cadillac, and he's got a jacket, a warmer jacket on, and he kind of pulls his sleeves up, and he says, he sounded like the quintessential old Italian, Godfather, He's like, hey, he says, nice to meet you. I'm Americo Cardi. And I'm like, Americo Cardi? I said, are you part of the Cardi Corp? He says, yeah. He says, I'm the founder of it. I guess he was still, it was a corporation, but he was still active in it, I guess. He was retired. So I told him my name, and I shook his hand. The guy had a big old mitt on him, a big damn hand, like a big gorilla, And he shakes my hand. You could just tell this old fellow, he worked, you know what I mean? And I think he later told me at the time he was like 84 or 86. I'm thinking he said he was 86. He's still fairly good health. He didn't get around too good. So anyway, he says, hey, he says, come on, jump in my car, he says. And I noticed I did say car, because that's how you say car. That's how you say car, and, car. Hey, jump in my car. It's nice and warm. I got the heat on. So we sit there, I get in with him, and here he's got me a Dunkin' Donuts coffee with cream and sugar and stuff. He didn't put it in, but it says, he says, I like you, kid. He says, you're a hard worker. He says, how long you been doing this? He says, didn't you go to school or nothing? You didn't go to college or nothing? How old are you? And at the time, I think I was like 20 or 21, maybe. Maybe 21 or 2, 23, I don't know. I was born in 65, so 85 I was 20. So I might have been right around there, 20, 22 in that range. He says, not too many guys your age these days, working like this, working outside, and doing this and doing that, and, hard work. You got a strong back, kid, And anyway, I made an impression on him, and he really liked me, and I grew to like him. And old Americo, he would come around usually 2 or 3 days. He'd ask me, you gonna be working up here, boy? He says, He says, you're going to be working up here, sunshine? He called me sunshine. You're going to be working up here, sunshine? I'll stop, see you. I'll bring you coffee. We'll talk. So anyway, we did that. I mean, literally all winter long, probably 2 days a week if I was working there, he would show up and he would always bring me a donut and a nice big coffee. And once he found out how I like my coffee with cream and sugar, he'd get it made that way. And every day I tried to pay him for, oh no. And he told me some really good stories. You know, he immigrated in here when he was a kid. I think he was, now this is a long time ago, so you know, if a relative were to listen, you know, I hope I'm not misquoting, but I think he said I'm thinking he said he was like 7 or 8 years old when his family immigrated here. And he told me where they were from in Italy. I can't remember. But I'll never forget that old guy. And I remember him telling me way back, you know, now this would have been, well, you guys can do the math on it, but I'm thinking this would have been like when he got old enough to start doing construction work and excavating work, you know, I think it was like the 20s, because he said they started, you know, with horses and carts and shovels. But one of the things he told me, and I can remember my dad telling me this story when I was a kid, about Roger Williams Park up in Rhode Island. Again, if you guys ever get a chance, it's nice. They got a zoo there now, but it's just a nice little park, you know, and it's been there for ages. Because Roger Williams was the founder of Rhode Island, one of the patriots, the founding fathers, so they named this park after him. But I can remember my dad saying how the old Italians, they would go down there and they would literally bid. They would have bid, you know, public works projects to clean out the poop houses, you know, the outhouses. They had rows of outhouses for people going to the park. And then, I don't know, once or twice a year, they would hire or bid contractors to come in and clean that all out. Well, lo and behold, Americo starts telling me that was one of the first gigs, you know, they would do that, him and whoever, I don't know, him and whatever, they would bid, they would do that, they would do these little public works projects, and literally with horse and cart, you know. And I thought to myself, you know, man, this old dude's been around, he wasn't afraid to work, you know. And then he was telling me about how, you know, the old Italian, the old wop, he'd say, us old wops, we didn't have anywhere to go, you know, because they were discriminated against, the Irish too, you know. I mean, they weren't treated very good by a lot of the local people, you know. They were immigrants. You know, that stuff happened. Woo-hoo, right? You know, I mean, but they got over it. They didn't let it, them people didn't let it bother them. They were tough, man. This old man was tough as nails. So they started he told me they started the Italia American Club. I think that's how you say it. Somebody will probably correct me. But, so they started that chapter, I think, down in Johnston or Cranston, Rhode Island. I mean, there's those all over the place. But, and I guess he played a little golf later on in his years, but he said he didn't have a lot of patience for that. Much running around doing nothing, you know. But I just think of old Americo Cardi today, and what a good old fella, and I hope to see him again someday and shoot a fat with him, because he sure was an interesting cat. And you know, even though them people were kind of looked down on, and you know, all called wops and dagos and all that, you know, and these are his words too. He wasn't afraid to talk about this stuff, you know. They were proud people and hard-working people, hard-working people, and they came here with nothing. And even though they came here, you know, and you know, plus they had roots to the old country and everything, they really wanted to be Americans. I can remember him telling me that, you know, it was such a big honor to come here, to melt in and be an American. And I thought that was pretty special. And I remember these things he told me, you know, they're stuck in my mind forever. And I'm just so glad and honored that I got to meet him. So here's to you, Americo. I don't have a drink, but salute, brother. I'm so glad you made my acquaintance first, you know. But just thinking about him today, I don't know why. You know, I don't know. But I thought maybe you guys would dig that story. I'm sure you probably have someone in your life like that made an impression on you. But he certainly made an impression on this country and in the Northeast community. I mean, he founded one of the premier construction companies, and I don't know how many. I don't know how many thousands of people they employ, or hundreds and hundreds anyway. I mean, it's a big outfit, you know. And so him and his family, and I can't remember all the details, but yep, they founded the Party Corps. Oh, it's interesting stuff, and I'll bet you there's a million stories just like it out there. So, all right, guys, I'll let you go. Ta-ta. We'll talk soon. Probably about 10 miles out here. Go home, give Mammy a hug, get something to eat, nice shower, go to bed. Do it all over again tomorrow. Alright guys, ta-ta, love y'all.